Hello and welcome to my channel, How We Moved the Decimal. In today's video, I am photographing items to sell on eBay. My process is batching. So I will source in one particular period of time. I don't source daily, I don't source weekly. I probably at most source once a month, but honestly, I do major large sourcing. So with that, I am maybe going every 6 months to do large batches. Grand majority of that is from the Goodwill outlet or the bins where you pay per pound. The closest one I go to is about 2.5 hours away, and last time I went was $1.19 per pound, and books and shoes were separate. With this is what I've had in my death pile in my basement that I've needed to go through. I launder all of the clothes first. I check for flaws when I'm going through to do that process, but I could still find flaws when I'm going through and photographing because I'm under good light and I'm becoming more like in depth with it and looking more places. So some of these I don't end up listing either. I will donate them. If I don't use them, or my husband or one of my 3 children, they will become donated. I like to photograph like all of pants and jeans together, all of shirts together. But since we're getting towards the end of the pile, I'm just photographing whatever I have, but it does go faster if I can photograph like items. Right now I'm going through a bunch of jeans. I don't know if I had previously put them in a denim pile because there was a bunch of jeans together, or if this was left over from a ThredUp box. I used to buy ThredUp denim boxes. The last one I got was pretty bad, so I haven't bought one in a while. My cat, Dylan, he likes to be my helper. Between him and the children, it takes me forever to get anything done. And he's quite feisty when I'm up here, as you can tell by the tail twitches and finger nibbles that he wants to play and do stuff. He is still a kitten. He's not even 2 years old yet, so he acts like one and can be quite in the way. And he's very nosy. He comes back and forth. He's a lot in this video. Apparently I didn't pay enough attention to him that day, so he needs to come and see what is going on. But he's a pretty cat and he has very shiny fur, so you can see that in the pictures, or in the video. Now back to this ThredUp boxes. They're different now. I liked them better when you could buy per size. So like women's extra large or men's extra large or men's small. And I would buy in sizes that would fit my family members so we could get new clothes out of it, and I would also have clothes to list. My son, I'd buy him men's small, and my husband, I'd buy men's extra large. So a lot of these are either extra larges or smalls, depending on the spectrum of whose box it came out of. But they don't do that anymore. They do mixed lots of clothes. And I'm not a fan of that because there's less of a chance that we'll be able to use it. So I just haven't bought from ThredUp, and I would only buy from them when they'd have like a free shipping deal or something, which they consistently had, but they have not had in a while. I used to do Goodwill blue boxes too. So this could have been a blue box or a ThredUp box. And blue boxes were the same. We used to be able to buy by size. You used to be able to buy with free shipping if you spent so much money. And it's changed. It hasn't been the same. So I just haven't. The last Goodwill blue box I bought had jeans in it, and you'd get around 12 to 20 pairs of jeans. So like if it's all jeans, you get around 12 pairs. If there's shorts in there, you'd get more pairs. And several of the jeans that were in my spot all had the same leg cut off. So, but they're all different sizes. So I'm wondering if it was like a shipping thing or something that happened in a factory where they were just together and they all had their right leg cut off at different parts. Some was on the bottom, some was up on the thigh, some had slashes just through it and it wasn't completely cut through. So there was just too much damage for me. I'm going through this and I'm pulling out the pants because I am photographing pants. I will go back and photograph shirts after I finish this. This was a new at tags, and honestly, I don't remember where I picked this up, but there was a lot of good stuff in this pile, and I was kicking myself because I had a bunch of new at tags. I had men's silver jeans, I had Joe's jeans, I had 7 for All Mankind. Like, I had really good jeans and pants in here, and I don't know where I got them. I don't know how long they'd been in my death pile. And, if you ever had a death pile and you're kicking yourself and you're going back through this, like, ugh, why didn't I list that? Why did it take so long for me to get that listed? That was me with these. I was like, oh, there's so many good jeans in here. Upside, the jeans will be listed now for fourth quarter and for fall and for school time. So that's good, but they could have been down there years, guys. Like, there's no shame in my game here. They could have been there for years. We are now finally getting to the bottom of our death pile, to the point that we're going to have to do like some massive thrift trips before winter happens, because we are in the Midwest, and with winter we could be stuck here inside for a very long time, and shopping could be hit and miss. These are men's rock revival jeans. Again, I had really good jeans in here, and I don't know where I got them, and I don't know how long they'd been there, and it's so frustrating, and I'm disappointed in myself when this happens, because I'm not that discombobulated as a person, but man, when it comes to this, I am just not organized. The cat is back to supervise, making sure I'm taking all the proper measurements. He loves to play with the tape measure. But yeah, these are now photographed. By the time I've made this video, I think half of it is listed. Again, I don't list everything all at once. I could, but I found algorithm-wise, and I know the algorithm could be a myth, but I found algorithm-wise, at least for me, that it is better for me to trickle it out. So 5 a day. 5 a day is pretty much my sweet spot. But I don't know if I have enough listings left to do 5 a day until I can get something. I don't want a dead spot where I don't have anything listed. That being said, if that happens, I start going through my own closet. I start going through my kids' closets. I start going through my basement and looking for things that I can list just to get it going. Again, another new tags pants. I honestly don't know where I got these. I want to say I got them in ThredUp when ThredUp didn't sell men's clothing. So basically anything that was donated to ThredUp that was men's clothing ended up in a rescue box, because they didn't sell men's clothing. So you got higher quality men's clothing out of rescue boxes than you did women's clothing. However, I got a really nice North Face hoodie that was my size, so I kept it in a rescue box. And just a new tag stuff. Welcome to the Midwest. Go Cubs. The cat is still playing with my bottle of shells. That's a bottle of seashells, if you're wondering what he is playing with, from vacation this year. But we're getting towards the bottom of our death pile, which is terrifying and happy. I don't know. It's part of me uses it as like not a death pile, but like a money pile. So I know when I'm running low on more new tags, when I know when I'm running low on items, I can pull them from there and just list them. When I have very few things left to list, then it makes me worried. I have went through all of our vintage slides, and now I'm actively looking for more because they make me happy. And they don't make a lot of money, but they do make me really happy to do. It's fun. I love looking through them. Clothes, they sell. I'm not like, yay, I can photograph some shirts. I will say I prefer men's clothing to women's clothing. Listing wise, I tend to have less issues with men's clothing than I do with women's clothing, less return issues, less fit issues, where other people, because men's jeans are standardized size wise, like 34 by 32, women's are small, medium, large, or 4, 6, 8, 12. All that's very subjective, so I think that makes that more difficult. And I think women are more particular about fit, where if it's a close enough for a men's size, it's fine. I've never had a men's clothing, I've never had a buyer say that it'd been shrank in the wash, or they think something has happened, like there's been something done to it, where I've had that plenty of time for women's clothing. I actually just had a potential buyer this week ask me if I could put 12-ounce cans in pockets of this shirt. So I went downstairs and I put Pepsi cans in it and took a picture, and they were super tight. And I was like, they'll fit, but they're very tight. Like, I don't know if you could do this without damaging the shirt or yourself. And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't think it's going to work. But the buyer was very responsive, or potential buyer was very responsive. He's like, oh, that's great. Thanks for doing it for me. Thanks for going above and beyond. And sometimes you get odd requests, and I would have rather done that than had to deal with a return later. I know some people don't put measurements in there, or don't answer questions if you get questions. Now, some questions I won't answer because it's just setting me up for failure. I've had somebody 2 weeks ago ask a bunch of in-depth questions about a pair of vintage sheets I had. And it was a flat sheet and a fitted sheet, and they wanted to know like how crisp the sheet was. Is it thick or thin? Is there fading? What are the colors like all of this stuff. And that can be very difficult to do. So I hesitate to answer those questions, because what I think is blue, you might think is purple. What I think is thick, you might not think is thick. So anything that can be seen as subjective, I tend not to answer it. I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't feel comfortable answering this because what you think could be different than what I think. And I've had a lot of those questions lately. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think that buyers are becoming pickier because money is getting tighter, and maybe there's not that expendable income that there used to be. So if you're going to buy something, you want to make sure it's what you're looking for. So I don't fault any potential buyers for asking the questions. I just hesitate answering subjective questions. So thank you for watching, and please tune into my other videos.